In a related matter, economic debate is intensifying ahead of the 2025 budget speech set to be delivered on Wednesday. The core of the discourse remains around the contention over the proposed 2% hike in value-added tax that led to the tabling of the budget last month being postponed. Business reporter Ntokozo Khumalo looks at some proposals that have been brought forward so far.
Finance Minister Ntokozo has once again raised the alarm on the tough balancing act the National Treasury faces to deliver a budget that works for all. With talks of a smaller VAT hike of 0.75 percentage points still on the cards to help fill the gap for expenditure items such as the social relief of distress grant, he cautions that trade-offs may need to be made.
In an environment where there's no growth, a number of people fall into the unemployment because your employment becomes structural. The key question, how are you going to do to mitigate the impact of that unemployment? So there's an argument for the SRD. But my argument is, if that is the case, which is a noble cause, what we need to do is to find a revenue source for it. And in the absence of finding a revenue source, you are going to have a problem. It's a structural unemployment. You cushion the impact of structural unemployment, but let's find a revenue source to do that.
However, the Institute for Economic Justice says the cost of the SRD has already been penciled in.
The SRD grant was provided for in the 2025 baseline. In other words, the SRD grant is already financed in this year's budget. It is not an additional item. That was confirmed by the Director General. It's under the provisional item in the medium-term budget policy statement, an item which provided for, I think it was 46.1 billion.
According to Coleman, the trade-off regarding the social relief distress grant may be if it were to include the millions of people previously excluded.
The only trade-off would come if the SRD grant, as it is supposed to do in terms of the High Court decision in Pretoria, was extended to the millions of people who are currently being excluded and was increased to keep pace with inflation and to link to the food poverty line. So that's a trade-off. There's no trade-off with the current budget shortfall.
Godongwana says deeper and more sustainable solutions are needed to ensure the country can collect sufficient revenue to cover all expenses.
The major problem you face as a nation is a growth problem. So for as long as the economy is not growing, we're going to face these challenges.
Finance Minister Ntokozo will deliver the budget at the National Assembly in Cape Town on the 12th of March. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Ntokozo Khumalo in Johannesburg.